Episode 3. Where are your manners? Did you go somewhere to become a doctor with Doctors Without Borders again? Were you in some backwater village? Winston deliberately maintained a straight face. He couldn't help but feel like they were fated to clash. He would miss her if he didn't see her. But when they were in the same room, she always pissed him off. Is this a sign of Alzheimer's? I've always been like this. Is this your first day of being my father? Then she looked up and was shocked. On the wall were some posters she had made more than a decade ago. She was not sure when her father found them, and he even framed them on the wall. One of the posters wrote, "Do you think you're Adonis? Having multiple wives doesn't make you attractive." The other poster wrote, "Better take care of your health now that you're old. Otherwise, you might die of a stroke." Another wrote, "Please show yourself some respect. Thank you." This was a wedding gift she gave Winston when he got married for the third time. The Taylors became a hot topic of discussion because Winston had 4 wives. Alyssa wasn't happy with her family's situation, so she studied abroad and became a doctor with Doctors Without Borders, saving many lives. After leaving home for 3 years, the first thing you do is curse your old man. What a considerate daughter I have. Winston was furious, and he glared at her. "Thank you for the praise, Daddy." Alyssa laughed. "Dad, we should hurry up and discuss some matters since Lice is back." Jonah put his sister's shoes on for her. Then he said solemnly, "I've decided to give up my position as KS Group's president. Let Lice take my place instead." Alyssa was shocked and stared at her brother's handsome face. Winston was speechless. "Dad, Alyssa is back. I only promised to be the president for 3 years, and I need to return to church. You know this isn't my passion. Being a pastor is my lifelong dream." At this moment, there seemed to be a holy light behind him. Moreover, his stance was firm. "Let Silas do it then." Forced into a corner, Winston had no other choice but to try and bargain with him. No. I work for the government. I can't have any connections with large financial companies. What if I get investigated?" Silas quickly refused his father's offer. His face was pale from shock. Winston felt depressed. What was the use of having so many sons? All of them were doing amazing themselves, but no one was willing to inherit his business. His health had been declining, and he had planned long ago to retire. Unfortunately, no one in his family could take on the business empire he had built. It was not that he didn't dote on his daughter. He was just a stubborn old guy who believed that sons would be better heirs. "Who told you a woman can't do what a man does? I'll be the president." Alyssa smiled and proudly raised her chin. "Do you think it's that easy? KS Group is not child's play. Do you think a kid like you can lead the company? And do you even know how to manage a business?" Winston didn't hide the anger and sadness on his face. "Most importantly, you never stay the course. You always suddenly disappear without a trace. You even went to Gawa for 3 years without a word. Do you know how worried I was? How worried your mothers were? I thought you were bombed to shreds over there." Alyssa's heart ached at the words, a lump forming in her throat. Even though she felt that her father owed her mother a lot, and she held a lot of grievances against him, she had been wrong to go silent for 3 years and marry Jeremy without telling him about it. "Dad, Lice is no less capable than me." Jonah picked up the cup and took a sip. "Do you remember the financial crisis we suffered 4 years ago? Lice was the one who suggested a few effective company control measures. Also, it was Lice who stayed up for several nights to create the acquisition plan for the Willow Group 2 years ago." Winston was shocked to hear that. "Dad, you don't understand Lice well enough. Compared to everyone in this family, she's the brightest and the one with the most perseverance. You've always had a reputation for recognizing talents and using them well. Now a talent is right before your eyes. Why don't you use her?" Silas also tried his best to persuade his father. After some thought, Winston said seriously, "Okay, since you want to take over the family business, I'll let you have a go at it. Consider it my birthday present to you." Alyssa automatically sat up straight, and her eyes gleamed with excitement. "Rest for a few days. After that, I'll take you to Solana City's KS World Hotel to report for duty." If you can enhance the business and turn a loss-making enterprise into a profitable one, I'll consider letting you become the president of KS Group." When they left the study, both her brothers put their hands on her shoulder. "Great responsibility only falls on those who are equally great," Jonah said. "He just had to go and give you a mess to clean up."
Silas sighed.
"I know. The old man is doing this so that I'll quit. Unfortunately, this method isn't useful against me. I'm like a coiled spring. Any pressure will only make me stronger." Alyssa clenched her fists. The ambition that had been dormant inside her for 3 years was slowly rising to the surface. The brothers glanced at each other and smiled. "My dear sister, we'll leave our future freedom in your hands." 5 days later, Jeremy called his secretary, Xavier Hall, to his office. "How is the investigation on Allison Burton going?" Jeremy looked out from the floor-to-ceiling windows at Solana City. His tall, upright figure projected an overbearing silhouette. "I am sorry, Mr. Walsh. There isn't any progress," Xavier nervously reported. "After Madame Allison left that night, she didn't return to the sanatorium where she worked. I even went to her address only to find out that it was fake. There weren't any families with the last name Burton in that area." "The address is fake?" Jeremy was shocked. He finally turned to look at Xavier, his gaze oppressive.
"Yes.
"I went to the local police station to check things out, but there is no such person." Xavier had addressed her as Madame Allison for 3 years. It was hard for him to change this habit. Jeremy was stunned. Who did he marry? Was she a spy? "She left with Jonah Taylor that night. There's nothing related to him. To be honest, if Mr. Taylor deliberately hid the fact that he had a new lover, it would be hard for us to find any clues." When Jeremy heard that, he raised his brows in anger. "Jonah Taylor looks like a gentleman with good manners. How could he do such a despicable thing like stealing someone's wife?" "Well, he's not really stealing. He's just taking over the duties." Instantly, Jeremy glared at him, so Xavier dared not speak another word. Jeremy couldn't forget the scene of that night, when Jonah was so protective of Allison. He was unsure why, but he had a suffocating feeling in his heart. His wife had always been dull. Also, Jonah was famous in their circle for being a ruthless and cold man. So how did she manage to attract an indifferent guy like Jonah to protect her? "Jeremy, can we not get a divorce?" "It's because I love you." Jeremy recalled what she had said to him on the day of their divorce. Liar. He narrowed his eyes, and the temperature in the room seemed to drop. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. Then his phone vibrated. He put away these thoughts. When he found that it was Liana calling, he quickly answered.
"Leah?"
"What's the matter?" "Jeremy, I'm in your company's lobby. Can you come and bring me up? I made some dessert for you. I want you to have a taste of it immediately." Liana's voice was sweet and cloying through the phone, and Xavier got goosebumps just listening to it. "You're at the lobby?" Jeremy frowned.
"Yes."
"What's the matter, Jeremy? Don't you want to meet me?" Liana asked coquettishly. "It's nothing. Xavier will bring you up." After he ended the call, his expression was dark. He hadn't completed the divorce procedures with Allison, so the news of their divorce was not yet public. It might cause unnecessary rumors if Liana visited him at this time. He wasn't scared of anything. It was just that. His phone vibrated again. When he saw the caller, he became nervous. "Grandpa." "You fool. Bastard. Do you never listen to what I say?" His grandfather, Newton Walsh, scolded. "Haven't I told you that you're not allowed to contact that woman if you marry Allison? But you actually brought her to the company? Even if you don't care about your reputation, you should care about Allison's. Get over here right now."
Full story is available at novelpalace.com. Click the link in the comment section to get it free.